let's look at this. So we get the official call out on Max's translations. Well, we'll see that in a little bit. KMST patch notes from Orangemushroom are live for Shangri-La and Kaling. And we'll see if we can get some recent update BGM for you. Wow. Amazing. That's actually kind of pretty. Okay. So we've got our beautiful inspired One Piece Japanese inspired it's supposed to be ancient Korean, I guess. Wano Kingdom art for Shangri-La and Kaling. Shangri-La, of course, the area that you see when Hoyoung holds their iframe. And if you were in the Odium storyline, you also see the other dimension of Shangri-La that the master creates that we jump into to escape from the to escape from Kaling, basically, in the Odium storyline, because she is a one bad MF. New test server was released with the new boss Kaling and new area Shangri-La, another piece of the Eternal set, and exceptional enhancements. Ooh, while both the area and bosses look and sound absolutely amazing, I'm disappointed that it's another mini expansion to Odium. I think I was kind of expecting that to be like Karote, like the tower that Kalos is on is just a mini expansion of Hotel Arcus. I was kind of expecting that. I thought it would be a little bit too soon to just pump out a new area every 6 months. That seemed a little bit too much. I think they're probably trying to alternate, like, new area, new class, new area, new class, kind of like that. I think that's fine. But there's still, like, a new mini area, so it's not, like, completely devoid of new area content. But, yeah, I get that, you know, at least, like, because we, like, oh, we just got Odium, right? But, of course, in Korea, they've already had Odium for 6 months, so now they're kind of like, okay, new thing. But, yeah, I get that. I get that feeling. Of course, also the drama about how bad regular server is and what Wonky talked about during the live stream yesterday. For the people who missed all that, we went over Steve's videos a little bit. But basically, they were supposed to do a live stream about the Tespia server, and everyone in the chat was just stinking it up with with reboot and non-reboot and issues that they have with the game. And they didn't... I think they didn't actually get to talk about Tespia too much. And then the second thing is that it seemed pretty normal or pretty predictable that was going to happen, but they didn't seem to have any kind of written down PR statements or whatever to go off of, and they just went off the cuff, which meant that they said some things that they shouldn't have, and then they had to actually like pause the live stream, come back, and apologize for what they said, which, you know, just don't say them in the first place, you know, have some stuff written down. It's really weird that they didn't have some statements already written down. And like I said yesterday, it would be better to either say, like, I think the best course would have been like, okay, we want to talk about Tespia server, but obviously this issue is bigger, so give us like a day or two to group up, think about how we're going to tackle this, then talk about that first, and then once you get that, you know, handled for now, then you talk about the Tespia server so you can focus on what needs to be focused on in the moment and not try to do the Tespia thing like nothing's going on, because obviously for us it's a little bit weird. We're looking at it from a big distance, but in Korea there's a whole bunch of stuff going on and there's a lot of people like migrating and moving on. It's not, I don't think it's quite on the level of, you know, people moving over to Lost Ark because of the invulnerability and the flames and all that, but it's like from what I hear it's like approaching that. So and yeah, of course they can't deal with another one of those big ass exoduses, exodi. So yeah, I'm not going to cover. So Max is not going to cover it in here. Still have nightmares about the 1,000 different notices and letters during the flame incident. Oh right, I guess there was a whole lot of updates and posts and everything about it. So that was in that was early 2021. Right, and then I think in April or something we got all the compensation. But in my personal opinion, there are a lot of valid criticisms of regular server that probably need to be looked at. Of course, I mean, every version of the game is constantly, there's stuff to move around, and there's imbalances and stuff to go into for sure. I definitely didn't expect them to do anything about it this patch. This is a really complicated situation overall. Yeah, I mean, it's something you'd have to address. If a large amount of your player base feels a certain way, then it's something you have to do something with. You can't just say, we'll get over it. If it's like a small group of people, you can try to work with them. If it's a huge amount of people, you have to do some concessions, right? Unless you're okay with alienating a bunch of your player base, which you shouldn't be, especially if one of the things he said is that like the genre of MMO is not as popular as it used to be. That means that you definitely, if you want to keep a game and you want to keep a company, you have to do some concessions to your player base. That's just unavoidable. Also, the whole KMS just discovered Reboot take is really so dumb, lol. I think, for me, I'm just memeing around when I have that in my title, of course. For me, I would be okay. I would have the same response, right? If someone in Reboot started playing non-Reboot and started talking about all the stuff you could do there, like you could trade and you could buy arcane items so easily, and you could just spend your way to the top, right? And they're just looking at what are purely the benefits of one server versus the other, and then like trying to compare them one-to-one when you can't do that with just a few aspects. You have to look at the overall game, and even then, it's okay for there to be imbalances because they're just different versions of the game. I'm just making fun of that aspect. I'm not claiming like the whole situation is just people saying like, oh, we never knew that Reboot had it so good. Why the hell were we playing non-Reboot this whole time? I'm sure there's a lot of legitimate criticisms for non-Reboot that have been building up and that have kind of gotten to a boiling point and have caused like this chain reaction kind of thing in Korea. I'm just more talking about the stuff that reaches us in terms of it does feel a little bit silly when people are spending so much money for so long and then now suddenly they're like, oh wait, Reboot has that easier. It's like, well, yeah. But in the same way, I don't know a lot about the exact struggles of Reboot, which I think is okay for me to not, for a non-Reboot, which I think it's okay for me to not know about because I just don't play that server. It's another server, has different rules, have different limitations, they do their thing. I just always get really annoyed when people just try to one-to-one compare servers that just are different and do different things. When that becomes part of the equation, like I feel like a lot of the arguments fall flat immediately. So I'm just making fun of that part, not of the. I'm not saying that there aren't like valid criticisms of non-Reboot. Of course, I'm sure there are, just like there are of Reboot. You know, but they don't have to include. You know, they don't have to be like a whataboutism. Like what about the other server? Because I think then your argument becomes really, really weak. For what one can say, I think the part of it, he got emotional. Yeah, so Steve mentioned that as well, that he got emotional. Which, you know, it's your product. It's the thing that you pour your life into. But again, they knew that this thing was happening, so they should have some written statements ready that they could just pull out when it got to this situation, and not just ramble off the cuff. Because especially when you have a bunch of people who already PO'd, you know, you can very easily set them off even more with just like one wrong word. Which has happened in the past, you know, so they should have definitely learned from that situation. After remarks that people took really bad. Another part is they definitely should have prepared better for those questions and comments. Yeah, exactly. Max saying the same thing. Since everything players have been talking about the last couple of weeks, and I have no idea why he, as director of the game, thought he should address it like that. That does feel like pretty unprofessional, yeah. Red took down the stream VOD, and he posted an apology, so the next NPR team will probably be working overtime from now. Most likely. So what do we have? Kaling, Sinner's Paradise, Shangri-La. Eternal equipment, so the Eternal set. Exceptional enhancements, I don't know what that is exactly, we'll see. Maple achievements and improvements, and they said something somewhere as well during the thing about achievements doing something special for achievements doing something special for Reboot. So I don't know if we probably won't see anything about that here, but I think that's like future stuff. We got a beautiful new art for Kaling. As you guys know, we don't have this yet. I was expecting this on the February 8th update, so I'm hoping now it comes on the next update. But yeah, you can see here the new art of the boss. As you know, with the update, all of the bosses have an art next to their name, so it's easier to find them than now just the plain text. I struggle to find some bosses. And then you have the second screen where you can see... oh, is that boss matchmaking, I think? I don't know what that is. And then you have like a checklist to see which ones you've already killed, which ones you haven't killed yet for the week. and which difficulties. So yeah, that hopefully we get this soon. Hopefully next patch. Characters level 275 or higher who have completed 5th job advancement and the Shangri-La farewell meeting quests. You know, as opposed to all of those level 275 characters who have not completed their 5th job advancement yet. Participation method: enter through the gate in Shangri-La Pavilion of the 4 Seasons. Kaling is level 285 boss with 380% PDR and requires 330 authentic force for full damage and has a total of 3 phases. So the first phase, I think we remember from the introduction, right? You're like split into 3 parties with just duos in 3 different parties. And then you have to fight Kaling, and then you have to fight Kaling while she summons all 3 of those dudes in the 3rd phase, which seems interesting. There's one difficulty which is normal mode. That's pretty interesting because all of those big bosses that have come out so far have all started with hard mode. So I guess they're learning from that in bringing in normal mode in first. Maybe a hard mode later with more drop, and then an extreme mode in like 2 or 3 years. I'm hitting 280 and then you'll do 5th job? Okay. You know, just a challenge mode in the game, I see. Kaling can be entered 3 times per day and can be cleared 1 time per week. Okay, so it's good that it's so weekly. Okay, now different music is gonna start playing. I should start back from the top now. Okay. Q9? No. I never said that I wanted to add that song. There we go. So this is what it looked like. I don't know if the song here is the same one we were just listening to. Let's see. Oh yeah, I think it's one of them, yeah. Pretty ominous. I like it. Well, the music department is still working overtime. I like that transition. The other chord. Phase 1, you'll face the 3 perils: Hundun, Kyongki, and Tau. This is special in that you must split your party up between the 3 bosses, up to 2 people per peril. After defeating a peril, you can then join your other teammates to help with the remaining ones. Oh, okay, so if you're faster in yours, you can just join the other teams and speed up their run. Okay, I see. I see. So this is one of them. This is the guy who was locked in the laboratory in Odium and whose soul you kind of like freed, right? And then he basically exploded himself to get you guys out. I don't know what this meter means, but you can see like the bar for all of the bosses here. Maybe they're... Like you can see 1,000, but then here you can see 500. So a bunch of meters and gauges and stuff going on. And you can see the pretty pictures. They have quite a different art style. It's very much reminds me of the whole Wano Kingdom arc in One Piece, where it's like the cartoony, slightly more like round edges. I like it though. Was this song also already in the playlist? Destroyed 4 seasons. Each barrel has their own map with different attacks and mechanics. Obviously, there are also 2 mechanics shared between all of them. Ah, here we go. The first one is spiritual power, Reiatsu, which is shared between all party members. Kaling has no death count limit, but has spiritual power. But this spiritual power will go down every time and also over time, and also whenever you die. If it hits 0, you will fail the boss. Oh, okay. Okay, the second is the Perils Balance Gauge. Each peril will have their own gauge that you must keep from hitting either 0 or 1,000. If they do, you'll lose some spiritual power and you will no longer be able to receive the special buffs that you would if you defeat the peril without disrupting the balance. Ah. There are some attacks you can get hit by to increase different perils gauges, so you must keep an eye on them to maintain their balance. Right, so if it goes down, you have to try to get hit, and if it goes up, then you have to make sure you dodge. Interesting. Phase 2. What's the music for this? In Phase 2, you'll face Kaling after she has absorbed the 3 perils. No information there, of course, because nobody's, like, destroying Phase 1 and KMST yet, but it seems like some people are putting some dents in it. And then in Phase 3, you face Kaling and the 3 perils at the same time. And I think they're gonna be all, like, yeah, they're gonna have, like, this color. They're gonna be all red and pinky. See you in 2025 when I catch up to this boss. You're already going to be doing this in 2025? That's impressive. I'm not going to be near in that time. I'm going to need a little bit longer, Keith. I'll join you in like 2027, okay? Keep a slot open in your party for then. Okay, and the last song. This better be a bop, dude. Okay, strong start. The pan flutes. Bring in the strings, okay. It reminds me of those, fuck, what's it called? Like two feet from hell, or what is the genre of music called again? On YouTube, they have all those epic songs. 7 Feet from Hell. It's almost like on that level. And it's a longer soundtrack as well. The other ones are just a minute and then loop. This one's a 2-minute one. They expect you to be in this phase at least 2 minutes, okay, guys? Don't rush it, okay? Next one should just be a music studio at this point. Yeah, just do music for everyone else. Convert to full music. Sorry, I already cleared. Oh, damn. So fast, bro. Rewards. Yes, an android. Well, I mean, need we say more? You can get an android, guys. Worth. A Kaling android. Oh, sorry, Kalingroid and Entangled Perils Ring. Exchange 10 for the Eternal Top, Bottom, or Shoulder. Interesting, the shoulder coming in. Huh. Not the hat, but the shoulder. And then Kaling's Soul Shard. Wow, it probably... Yeah, this one is okay looking. But... this is when you activate the attack, I think? And this is the Magnificent Soul. She lost her little hat. She's serious now. That is a really cool soul. And this is the attack for the Magnificent, I think? Wow. That is really cool. It's like a beast, like ripping open space-time, crashing into an attack. That is really cool looking. Yeah, this pixelated version doesn't really do it justice. Souls could use a buff. Yeah, they look really cool, but they do nothing. It'd be cool if they were actual buffs, then they could just scale with the game for power creep. If there's summons that do damage, they almost need to be stationary to do anything useful. Too bad souls are useless. Yeah, it's more like a cosmetic. Maybe they just want them to be cosmetics, you know. Kaling soul skills have been added. Kaling 200, 250, 1 to 1.2k, 1.8 to 2.2k. Damage 4 times and up to 15 enemies. Cooldown of 30 seconds. Summon Kaling for 120 seconds, dealing 1800, 200 cooldown. Okay, so it's an AOE, a 30-second cooldown AOE on normal. Oh, that's actually nice. It's basically an extra AOE skill for every 30-second cooldown. That's actually not bad. If those percentages actually end up being, if they can kill something. And this one is 150-second cooldown, 120-second summon, but I guess, yeah, I don't think we have information yet. It looks like it could be a stationary summon. If you look at this attack, it could be stationary. If it is, then that would be pretty nice, but I don't know if that can kill in those areas, you know? And that's the main problem. The scaling on it is... It would be worth it, though. I mean, if you're getting people to kill Kaling long enough to get 10 soul shards and to get a magnificent, they should earn a stationary summon from that. That can actually kill something, 100%. Oh yeah, so here you see the extra Sinner's Paradise Shangri-La is the extra tower here on the top right that we can go to. Is this different music than what we been listening to already? I don't think so. I think that's what we've been listening to, right? Winter. The Land of Peach Blossom, Forest Wishes Beasts. Yeah, that's what we've already been listening to. Yeah, let's just continue listening. If you go to the laboratory in Odium, the Alliance needs help from the sage above. To meet them, go to Shangri-La, place hidden within a picture. Experience the events that are taking place in Shangri-La. Alright. 275 or higher. Accept the Peach Blossoming Paradise quest through the light bulb notification on the left side of the screen. Here's some pictures from the story mode. Spoilers! Oh my god, who's that? Blue Moon. All your favorite furries, okay? Added some quests, added some furry NPCs. And a guy with a beard that reaches his feet. Added Sun Wukong. Some horny dude. What is a satyr or something, right? It looks like he actually has hooves. I think they're called satyrs. And some kid with a lollipop. Alright. Some banners. Some new Twitch emotes. Ooh. Okay, okay. Following maps have been added. Alright, only a few maps. So this one, ooh. Pretty. 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 They're just the exact same map, just in different, Are the platforms actually different? They look a little bit different here. I don't know why the winter one has different platforms. Do they actually have monsters? Oh, okay. Now, as shitty as the top and the bottom looked for the Eternal set, I'm digging this shoulder. That's a pretty shoulder. The top and bottom... Oh no, wait, we already had the hats, didn't we? No, I remember the hats. Oh, so you can't... You can only get the hat from Kalos. You can't get the hat from this, then? Well, I remember the hats existing. And like 2 of the hats being okay. Wait, this is defense, right? The 28 and 28? Oh no, that's attack. Do you have 28 attack base? Wait, how much were the top and the bottom? This is 28 weapon and magic attack and 51 all-stat base. This is what I would expect level 250 gear to actually have. Weren't the top and the bottom like way worse? I guess because it's still top and bottom because you can get 2 pieces and this is just a 1. Maybe that's why they lowballed it on those. This is what I would expect. I mean, 51 is a little weird. Why not just 50? They just wanted it to be better than Tyrant, I guess. Like we can't be on the same level as Tyrant. We have to be higher. Excuse me. And better because no flames. Well, why did you just make it lower and let people flame it then? That's a weird, no? But also we got the 4 set, 5 set. Oh yeah, because the weapon, yeah, the fucking Genesis weapon counts. 40 weapon and magic attack and 20% IED. Man, for a level 250 set that it takes this much trouble to get. It's still weird that the set bonus amounts... I mean, it's a lot of set bonuses added up altogether, but it's still weird the individual set bonus is still worse than like 4 set superior. And it's so much further in the game, right? But yeah, they don't have superior to contend with, so... exchanging 10 items from defeating Kaling to choose between the top, bottom, or shoulders. And the Eternal Equipment 5 set has been added. Exceptional enhancements. Okay, what is this? Oh wait, we already have these. What were the ones we had so far? Was it for... I want to say it was for the Lucid Belt? For the extreme mode, right? If you do extreme mode bosses which one step further and use the exceptional parts you acquire. Oh no, we don't have this yet. That was on the announcement. I remember, yeah. Items that can be used for exceptional enhancement take up a unique... I think it was Berserk and the belt, but I don't remember exactly. Take up a unique enhancement slot and all exceptional parts have a 100% chance of success. Exceptional parts can only be used at untradeable equipment. Exceptional parts can be traded. If an item with an exceptional enhancement applied becomes a trace, the exceptional enhancement stats will remain. Thank God. The following items have been changed to be able to be exceptionally enhanced. Dreamy Belt and Lose Control Machine Mark. Oh, I think that is the Berserk. I think I remembered. I guess this was a little bit of a giveaway, the cogwheels in there. The following items have been added. Nightmare Fragment. 20 all-stat, 15 weapon and magic attack, 1000 HP and MP to the Dreamy Belt. Well, that definitely will help in picking it up over the superior Gallic stuff, right? And Gravity Module, 15 all-stat, 10 weapon and magic attack, 750 HP MP to the Berserk. But yeah, you'll have to kill the... That's the one extra drop and the value that they're giving to extreme mode bosses, so... Yay. Maple achievements. Not gonna list them all, but yeah, of course. We don't blame you, Max. It's just a whole bunch of stuff. Add to queue. Undo. Don't add to queue. Go back to the first song. Stop. Low chance drop. Can't wait for them to be as rare as space. Oh yeah, maybe even more rare. But at least they have the 100% chance to work, you know? So that's at least you get your one and done. Which is a little bit of a consolation. Fog Achievement has been changed. Shangri-La Sinner's Paradise has been added to Area Exploration, Odium Exploration. Sure. Quest and Subtle Tower Crossing story quests can now be skipped on other characters in the same world after completing them once. Yeah, that's what I thought. The seed-related medals will no longer be given automatically when you move to the next floor after clearing the special floors. Instead, you can now claim them at any time by talking to the NPC Alicia's Soul in the lobby. Yeah, you don't want it to be cluttering your inventory when you weren't asking for that. So that seems fine. Mew Sprout Potions. No one cares about those things. Monsters in Damien, Normal, and Hard. It has been improved so that you are no longer hit by patterns when waiting to enter Phase 2. Oh my god. Yes! Yes! 7 years after the boss came out. We are removing the fact that you can still get knocked around while cleansing by a dash when he's already in transformation mode to the next phase. Praise the Lord, dude. Wonky's forgiven in my book. What if the enhancements can boom them? Well, if they have a 100% chance, then they couldn't, right? Guardian Angel slammed the issue where Kaiser in final configuration mode had a long action delay when installing crystal droplets has been improved. Okay. In Lucid, easy, normal, and hard has been improved so that if you use a bind skill when she casts Fairy Dust, before the blades are created, the pattern will now be cancelled. Oh my god, no more Damien on a 0 killing the party every single time he binds the boss and then sickles come flying out of nowhere. Based. The number of debuffs that are displayed above enemies has been increased from 5 to 7. Okay. Baby steps. Okay. It's an improvement. It's definitely not a solution to the problem. Debuffs definitely all need to be shown on the top left. Just where the bind debuff is. That's where all the debuffs need to go. They need to stop floating over the head of the monster in all different shapes and sizes and colors. 15, 16 of them fighting for positioning, so you don't ever know if your debuff is on. 5 to 6 would be baby step. 5 to 7 is a toddler step, maybe. But I've been saying it for 3-4 years now. Like, those debuffs need to go up there. When they did it with bind, I was like, yes, this is the beginning of a... But no, they're not seeing the line. But one day they will, you know. One day they will do debuffs just like every other MMO in the game. Maps in Flag Race, the waiting time after entering has been decreased from 20 seconds to 10 seconds. Oh my god, the future is... Well, still the future, but like it's approaching us, just like the future always is. Never mind, but it's good stuff. Gotta hire 60 more interns first. Receive all of their items that would become untradeable. The item name and icon. Private login. Okay, Max hasn't highlighted these, so they're not important enough. I trust Max on that. Skills and extra project skills. Rune of Purification. Effects applied. Bowmaster. These could be very niche things that may just be go from a little bit annoying to kind of like breaking some boss fights. So fix an issue with Mihail's Soul Link where sometimes it would be deactivated. So if you notice these things, you know, and you see these things written, you'd be like, oh yes. But if you haven't noticed them, you're like, I don't even know that was I didn't even know that was a thing. So this could be very hit or miss in terms of impactfulness. Sometimes the flame arrowheads would be consumed even when it didn't activate. Would not be fired at certain bosses. Drill container while facing the right in a map that was narrow to the left. The drill container would not be created. Oh dude, I remember this was a problem with my bind on my arc for a long time. I would put my bind on the left side of the map, but if I was facing the right, it would just not activate. But when I was facing the left outside of the map, then it would activate. In a certain map where I was trying to use it to monster clear, and it was really annoying that it would sometimes just not go off at all. So maybe it is something like that that's fixed. In Urda Spectrum, the action delay to push materialize Urda was longer than other classes for mechanic. Huh, interesting. Oh, what was this? The fact when drill container was created was awkward. Macro missile could be used while hanging from a rope or ladder. Oh, that's not good. Blade dancing cast sound effects. Hologram graffiti's effect were not adjusted to the skill effect transparency. Kaiser wouldn't track. Angelic Buster burst. Oh, zero burst step, or if it's used at the end of certain diagonal terrain, they would fall off without landing at the end of the terrain. Heal him if you're dying with the crystal skill. And then use the buff freezer, the wings would be displayed awkwardly. Sure, glow wings was active, the wings would appear as non-magic wings to other characters. Holy shit, a whole bunch of Kali issues. Fix an issue where innate gift could be transferred to 2 or more characters. Is that the link skill? Or no? Could be transferred with the lower skill level, could not be untransferred. Weird stuff. It's a shitty link skill anyway, nobody needs it. The beginner's skill book name was not displayed. Yeah, I'll make sure to, once this goes live, make sure to copy them all to the file that you guys know, right? Under the skill changes, but it seems like it's just fixes, no balance stuff. Usually balance stuff is mentioned before the skill changes, so. Arc, just one emphasizing change that if a party member has a spell buff active, they will no longer be overwritten by shorter duration buffs. Oh, that was a possibility before? That's cool. Fiction where plain buff is stacked with other Arc party members is charged. Huh? Plain buff is stacked with other Arc party members. Oh, I didn't even know that was a thing. Lara could not use Dragon Vein traces in Spirit Saver. Oh, okay. Hoyoung stars with like absorption effect was not displayed. Fiction where buff freezers survive while Sage Wrath of the Gods was active. The background music would be played awkwardly. Okay. Quest changes, never important items, NPCs, monsters. Fix an issue in Lotus where certain skills could cause it to move above the top of the screen? Shade's Fox Spirit would not activate during certain attacks. Slimer, if you use Shadow Flash immediately after entering the area, would be installed in an awkward location. Huh. Fix an issue in Will where sometimes the spatial collapse pattern would not be passed even if you didn't die to it. Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, that should probably be fixed. Okay. Background fixes. Okay, a lot of fixes. Huh. A lot of error fixes for KMST. Max just always just deletes my comments because he hates me for the color of my skin. Nice. I've never had Sax before, but where's the reboot nerfs? It's gotta be the same guy, right? Same guy. Why would you be trolling on fucking Orangemushroom blog comments? Come on, man. Sheesh, man. Okay. Well, I hope they come forward soon with some not just like an apology, but an actual, you know, there probably needs to be another somewhat of a player conference where some actual points are written down. I'm sure there's that they still have those messaging boards. They should probably have it as their current topic, like what stuff in non-reboot do you think is too limiting? What makes you not want to spend money or not play for longer term? Any kind of that, like pretty open question like that. As soon as someone said, well, because reboot this, then you can just ignore that. But if it's an actual, legitimate towards non-reboot issue, then you could definitely take that to heart and do something with that. I hope they do, because it's no fun for a whole community, a whole region of players just being unhappy with the game. And of course, you know, a lot of the negative stuff can trickle down in the sense that we do copy over a lot from Korea, so depending on how to decide to treat those concerns, that will have some ramifications for us as well. Yeah, I'm not totally invested in what those will be, but I just hope they get addressed appropriately and people have a chance to be heard, of course. But yeah, good music. Interesting new boss. It looks like it's going to be for Phase 2, but specifically for Phase 3, ridiculously complicated and hard. Phase 1 seems decent to be able to understand, at least, you know, so you have something to start with. No binding whatsoever, though, so that definitely means classes that, at least for Saren and Kalos, that try to rely on a 15-second burst for from Kana in GMS will not be able to do that for this boss. So we might see the rise of the 10-second, well, not even 10-second bosses, right? People with key downs are probably going to have some more trouble getting all their damage in. Because even if you use your Liberation iframe, you'll have 10 seconds, but it's not the, or, you know, roars, but if the boss just walks away or jumps out of things, it might be very difficult to confirm your damage to these bosses. So giant AoEs and all that stuff will, yeah, zero support is going to be hindered tremendously. I think people will still like, you know, you have the 50%, you have the 50% ID debuff, but a lot of other classes have ID debuffs at this point, so just for that, yeah, I don't know, probably, yeah, zeros definitely lose some value in their support there. Some significant value. But yeah, we have the Reiatsu mechanic. We've got the cool new songs. We've got a new android. What do you want? Yeah, I'll say the shoulder looks pretty cool. I gave the top and bottom and even the hats a bunch of shit. This one looks pretty cool. It seems like this is just going to be the same shoulder for everyone. It is a common equip, so it makes sense for it to look the same. With some nice base stats. We'd have to math out how much exactly that will be at like 21 and 22 stars, but it'll be pretty significant. You don't know why you were expecting more than just the boss. I mean, yeah, they had a huge patch with Savior, right? So we'll see what comes out after this. As always, this is the Tespia, right? So this is the test server. We'll probably have a week of this in test server. I could check whether it's more or less than that because, you know, we have the release schedule of everything. But too lazy to do that right now. JHK is back. What's up, bro? Thank you for the 32. Wait, is that the same as Aqua? Yeah, that's the same as Aqua. Oh my god, you guys are resub buddies. Same month, same day. Do you recommend Night Stronghold, or is it worth it to do the higher level monster parks? If the higher level monster parks are just too strong for you and it takes too long to do them, like if you can't do them within like a minute and a half or something, if it takes longer than that, then I would just do Night Stronghold until you get enough arcane power. Maybe even put some arcane power in your hyper stats, because that'll determine your damage quite a bit. Damage to normal monsters, arcane power, see if you can power through those higher level ones. Otherwise, it's probably not as efficient in terms of experience over time. Thank you JHK for 32, appreciate it, man. Yeah, so Tespia server, bunch of things probably still how do you say again? When you can still change? Subsequent to change? No. How do you say that? Subject to change? Oh, it was a $3 word. I was going for like a $7 word. But yeah, many of these things are still subject to change. I don't know which ones will. I hope that most of the stuff they work on from now is addressing KMS players' issues. That's probably the most important thing. I don't see anything crazy here. Maybe they find some additional issues during Tespia and they have some additional fixes. But other than that, I don't see much of this changing before it makes it into the game. And yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed this little update and the new music playing in the background and in the foreground for a little bit. And we'll see you next week with the definitive patch notes. And probably there'll be some stuff coming out as well regarding, you know, the whole non-reboot players being upset and everything. So, you know, stay tuned for all that. And thank you for watching this little rundown.